What up? Welcome back to What's Up Wednesday. I'm your host, B. Boyd, and today we're talking about what's up. I'm going to keep this one brief. Last week I mentioned we're going to Norway. We just got back from Norway last night, 2 a.m., and then Raya was, of course, awake at 6 a.m., so we're pretty wiped out today and just unpacking and doing uh, 3 loads of laundry and all the things. So, nothing crazy to report on the music front. Kind of been occupied with the life stuff. So we're checking out Norway. It was awesome. Norway was amazing. Um, Gorgeous, just stunning views. They got parks every 2 blocks. We walked from like one end of the. We were staying kind of in downtown Stavanger, and we walked over to the edge of the peninsula. It was like a 30-minute walk. Um, and they had like this whole park over right on the beach with like some public beaches that people were barbecuing at, like public barbecues set up, and people were hanging out, um, doing barbecues, hanging out. Lots of kids, so that was cool. For Ryan to see a bunch of other kids hanging out, and it was cool to see a bunch of other parents like hanging out and about. You don't really see that here in the States, I feel like. Um, and Yeah, and then you were sitting on this private beach looking like across this massive expanse of water over to like these huge mountains rising out of the water, which was just an incredible view. They had these diving boards set up too, off of. They had like there was this beach kind of in this little inlet, and then they had like a little stone path that you could like walk along to get out to this island. And then off of the island, they had a diving board set up, just a public diving spot that people could jump off of. I think like here in the States, cliff diving, people are just like, oh no, that's dangerous. We don't support that. But kids always wanted to cliff jump. So Norway was just like, yeah, we'll let them. We'll give them. We'll tell people where the safe spots are. Here you go. You can jump off the cliff right here and not get impaled on rebar. So yeah, really cool. Parks were awesome. Downtown was awesome. Stavanger's the culinary capital of all of Scandinavia. It's like the culinary hub for Scandinavia for some reason. Um, they got really wealthy off of oil and gas a couple years ago, which I have plenty of thoughts on. Um, Oil and gas bad, but the cool thing about Norway is they made their money on oil and gas and are now reinvesting that into green initiatives. Unlike the States where we made our money on oil and gas and are continuing to invest that in oil and gas. Like Norway and China are kind of beating us in that regard, where they made their money on petroleum and they're still like invested in it, but they're moving away from it and they are investing heavily in green initiatives. And so, you know, better than we're doing, even if it's not perfect. Uh, Anyways, all that to say, I guess Stavanger used to be a really poor town, and then the oil moved in, and then it got super rich. People made it big, of course, off of liquid gold, and um, that somehow resulted in this town being a culinary hub. Like people moving in from all sorts of all over the globe, I guess, and opening restaurants with all sorts of different culinary backgrounds. We didn't try the Ethiopian place. I wish we did, but there was like an Ethiopian place, Thai place, Korean barbecue place, um, a bunch of sushi places. We got some really good pizza from a food truck that had 5 stars on Google Maps. I've like never seen a place with 5 stars on Google Maps. It had like 200 reviews too. Like all of them were 5 stars. Usually something's 4.9 at best, but this place actually still had a 5 star review on Google reviews. Crazy. After 200 reviews. So we were like, all right, we should check this place out. Did. It was awesome. So good. Unbelievably good. And the best priced thing we had there. So unfortunately, the food was really expensive eating out, and the drink was insane. Like if you want to order a glass of wine with your meal, it's going to be, or even a beer with your meal, it's going to be $15 minimum. Crazy. So eating out was expensive, but we tried some restaurants. It was awesome. And that food truck was one of the best price places and one of the tastiest places. So that was really cool. Uh, Anyways, so we really liked the town. It was cool. It was clean. Uh, the air felt good and fresh, because you're kind of in the sea. I mentioned before, Stavanger gets the Gulf Stream effect too, so they actually stay warm year round, unlike the rest of Norway, which is notoriously cold because it's so far north. Stavanger is right on the southern tip, so it's a little less cold already, and then it gets the Gulf Stream effect, so it actually stays warm year round. It like never gets below freezing usually. It's got the odd day here and there where it does, but on average it stays above freezing. So that's pretty cool. Um, Great little town. Honestly, we want to move there. That'd be cool. So, yeah, that was our trip to Norway. It was amazing. Rye had lots of fun playing with other kids. Playgrounds everywhere. Um, and then we ate some food. It was delicious. Enjoyed some fresh air. Breathing was good. Walking was good. We could walk everywhere. Uh, and where we couldn't walk, we could bus or train. Like getting to the airport was easy. They complain a lot about taxes there, but honestly, so all of the prices on the menu, I was talking about how the food was expensive, but that price includes tax and tip. Like you don't have to tip in Norway because everybody at every job is paid a livable wage, and so you don't have to like tipping is not expected. And in fact, they discourage it because they're like, we don't want America's weird tipping culture. Don't do that. So, yeah, don't tip. And so the prices on the menu are high, but they already include your tax and your tip. So I think it actually kind of evens out to what you're paying for a meal here, except for liquor. Like, don't drink out; you're gonna have a bad time. But the cost for food out kind of balances out. Was my impression. And same for other stuff, like they talk about sales tax a lot, but those prices are included on the list price. So it's not like you're buying a loaf of bread, it says $5, you check out, and it's actually 6. No, it says 5, you pay 5. So that's cool. Um, Anyways, all that to say, we did some traveling this last week. It was awesome. So I did not work on music a whole lot, but the Freestyle Friday beat I made a couple weeks ago that I was like, this one's sick. I can't even freaking rap over this. It's too cool to rap over. Honestly, I'm like gonna detract from this song if I rap over it. I still feel that way, so I'm releasing it as an instrumental this Friday. So that's cool. That's gonna come out soon. Maybe I'll try to rap over it again later, but at least the instrumental version is out there so that that can be enjoyed. I feel like that's true. I feel that way about "Heart on My Sleeve" by Avicii. He had that as an instrumental track on his desktop, and it's very good. I love the instrumental version of that song. And then post mortem, Imagine Dragons came. Imagine Dragons, I think it was Imagine Dragons came in and like sang some vocals on top of Avicii, on top of "Heart on My Sleeve." And I've got a friend who really likes that version, but I like the instrumental version more. So um, I think the world tends to agree with my friend, so I'm in the wrong there. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice to have both versions. It's a good option to have. So I'm gonna release that this Friday. Um, I'm thinking I should do that with most of my songs. Actually, I meant to release the instrumental version of Apotheosis ages ago, because I don't know. That's a cool thing that I made too. I made the whole beat for that 12-minute song, and I think it turned out cool. It's got an overture, which I didn't know what an overture was. But as I was making Apotheosis, I learned what an overture was, and I was like, oh, this song has to have an overture. It's perfect. It makes perfect sense. So maybe the first ever rap song with an overture. But yeah, that's fun to make. It's a solid instrumental by itself. And then, people can practice their own deliveries of Apotheosis in one take. So yeah, I need to get about doing that. But otherwise, I've got a couple songs in the works, which is cool. But I didn't really work on anything this time. I was thinking maybe I could work on some songs on the long flights, but the long flights were enough by themselves. Trying to manage a toddler and just have your things together. There was enough going on. I did not write anything. I tried to actually write over this beat that I'm releasing on Friday, and it is garbage. The lyrics I wrote are garbage. So, and like 3/4 of the way complete. Like I did not complete even one full verse. So, yeah, did not come up with some music stuff this week. That's right. Had fun. Thanks for tuning in. This has been What's Up Wednesday with B Boyd. Merch is still available on bboydmusic.myshopify.com. The dragon shirts are sick. Raya points to the dragon every time I wear it, and she says, "Wow, dragon, rah." Actually, not really. She just says, "Rah." Very cute. Yeah. See you next week. Actually, I'll see you on Friday for Freestyle Friday. Peace.